This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. My deskmate developed early and had a noticeably large chest. Someone in class started a rumor that she was a hostess at a nightclub and that her chest got big from being groped by customers. I couldn't stand it and decided to clear things up for her. Hailey would never work at Night Color. Stop spreading nonsense. Oh yeah, how do you know? Because Night Color Nightclub is owned by my family. That night, I ran into Hailey at the nightclub. She was sitting on my dad's lap. The first day of high school, I naturally sat in the last row. I took out my textbook, propped it up to the right height, and started sleeping. Some familiar classmates started chatting, and soon the whole classroom turned into a buzzing beehive. Damn it, no way I can sleep like this. I stretched out my arms and yawned. Whoa shit. At some point, someone had sat beside me. I pulled my arm back too late and ended up hugging her. Her face turned red, part embarrassment, part anger. Sorry, I didn't see you there. The girl in front of me had long hair, a round face, but wasn't chubby, fair skin, big eyes, thin lips though. She seemed a bit cold. It's fine. Ahem, hey little potato, why are you sitting in the last row? I tried to find something to talk about. She pouted. No seats left. Which one do you want? I'll switch for you. No need. The room was too noisy. I figured I'd slip out for a smoke before the homeroom teacher came back. As I walked past the front row, I noticed a few guys and girls sneaking glances toward the back. You see that girl sitting in the last row? She's a hostess, you know. Look at her chest, TSK. Definitely got big from being groped. For real. Yes, she works at Night Color Nightclub. My friend even booked her once. That's wild, tell me more. I glanced at her chest, then quickly looked away. Yeah, it was pretty big. How is she even in high school? You don't get it. High school girls are expensive. Normal hostesses go for $500, but high schoolers at least $800. I laughed. That's wrong. High schoolers go for at least $2,000. Huh, $2,000? No way. Wait, who the hell are you? I rested my face in my hands, crouching by their desks. They were so deep in their gossip, they didn't even notice an eavesdropper. I stood up and flicked each of them on the forehead. Quit spreading rumors. What the hell is wrong with you? One guy stood up, and I smacked him right back into his seat. That shut him up. It was the first day of school, and I didn't want to cause trouble, plus the teacher would be back soon. I needed to get my smoke in. Hey, got a light. A guy next to me helped me out. I took a long drag. Thanks, man. What class are you in? Class 1, freshman year. I grinned. Nice. We'll be smoke buddies then. Yeah, sure. By the way, what subject do you teach? Me. First class meeting. The atmosphere was lively, and I listened from the hallway as students introduced themselves one by one. Alright, I think we all know each other now. Actually, no, there's still one person outside. You in the hallway, come in. The class burst into laughter. Introduce yourself. You're the last one. I'm Rocky. I smoke cigarettes. I take the lead in tough situations. Cowards, stay away. My family has mines, my land has fields, and everywhere my eyes can see belongs to me. Silence. Then an explosion of laughter. Wow, we got ourselves a rapper. Alright, go back to your seat. I walked straight to my desk. Not so fast, go back outside. And after class, clean up the room, Rocky. The teacher rearranged the seating, letting students pick their own partners. If they couldn't decide, he would do it for them, preferably by height. By the time I got back to the classroom, everyone had chosen their seats. No one took mine. Good. Save me the trouble. The girl I accidentally hugged didn't move either. She was still sitting next to me. Little potato, why didn't you move up? Doesn't matter where I sit. Oh, I snore loud. Hope you don't mind. She frowned. I'm not called Little Potato. My name is Hailey. Alright. A few days later, everyone was familiar with each other. The rumors about Hailey got worse. Some guys even planned to visit the nightclub and book her to help her boost her performance. They spoke loudly, not even trying to hide it from her. She just frowned and teared up, but never spoke back. Why don't you explain? It's useless. You tried. I did. Before. Then you're explaining the wrong way. She looked at me in surprise as I stood up and walked to the blackboard. I knocked on it hard. Listen up. Hailey does not work at Night Color. Stop spreading rumors. Oh yeah, how do you know? Someone asked. Because Night Color Nightclub is my family's business. Boom. The classroom exploded. And also her chest didn't get big from being groped by customers. I groped it. She's my girlfriend. Anyone keeps talking shit, I won't go easy on you. Boom. The roof was about to fly off. I sat back down satisfied. Let's see who dares. Slap. A crisp slap landed on my face. You little bastard. I. Slap. You think I won't? Slap. Hit me one more time and slap. You really think I don't hit girls? Slap. You fucking. I dodged. Haha. Missed. She kicked straight at my crotch. I clamped my legs shut just in time, barely saving my future offspring. That move pissed me off. I grabbed both her wrists and pinned her against the back wall of the classroom. Too much, Hailey. Kiss, kiss, kiss. The whole class started chanting. Even students from the hallway rushed in to join the show. Hailey was stuck, biting her lips, silent as tears rolled down her face. The homeroom teacher heard the commotion and stormed in, both panicked and furious. Rocky, let go of that beast. Wait, no, let go of that girl. In the office, Hailey lowered her head, silent tears falling to the floor, forming a small puddle. I covered my swollen left cheek. 5 slaps, damn, even my dad had never hit me this hard. The homeroom teacher, after understanding the situation, was so angry, he slammed the desk. He wanted a cigarette, but his pack was empty. He reached into my pocket, pulled out a cigarette, and lit it. it. What kind of behavior is this? Can't you come to the teacher to solve problems? You can't solve this problem. Bullshit. And you can. This is how you solve things. Alice, our teacher, held the cigarette between her index and middle fingers, the burning tip nearly poking my face. And what are you gonna do? Hold a class meeting, announce a public criticism, talk to the students? They won't say it in class, but they'll keep gossiping behind her back. Hailey looked up at me a bit surprised. Oh, so your way of solving a problem is to cover one rumor with another? Great, now the whole class is talking about you too. Whoever spreads it, I'll beat them up. Look at you acting all tough. Are you even a student anymore? Smoking, spreading rumors, getting into fights, throwing away your future. I don't have much of a future anyway. Well, at least you're self-aware. But I have money. Alice opened and closed his mouth a few times, but not a single word came out. Call your parents to school. He stubbed out the cigarette. Hailey, call your dad. He's dead. Alice froze. Then call your mom. My mom's dead too. Both Alice and I turned to look at Hailey. Our eyes were full of concern, but we couldn't wipe away her tears. Hey, give me another cigarette. I took out two, handed one to Alice, and put the other in my mouth. Alice snatched it away. Who the hell said you could smoke? In the end, Alice didn't call our parents. He just told me to stay out of trouble and said he'd handle it. He even defended me, saying I meant well, but just used the wrong approach. On the way home, Hailey's lonely expression and those big rolling tears kept replaying in my mind. Damn, this little potato has it rough. No parents bullied at school. Good evening, young master. I nearly jumped. I kicked both doormen. The hell are you shouting? Don't call me that anymore. Who knows if you mean my status or my profession? Fake rumors these days are terrifying. I barged into my dad's office without knocking, and there was Hailey sitting on my dad's lap. She turned around, saw me, and looked utterly embarrassed. Son, if I said this was just an accident, would you believe me? I lit a cigarette. Hold on, let me call my mom. If she believes you, I'll believe you. Hey, listen, you've been eyeing that G-Wagon, right? I'll buy it for you. I held up my phone. My dad chased me. I dodged. The whole scene was ridiculous. Hailey stopped me. It was really an accident. I tripped and fell into Uncle's arms. Sure. Next, urban romance drama. You're the female lead. The call connected. Mom, come to the office. I don't care how busy you are, you have to come. Watch a drama. A teen romance. The female lead is an underage girl, and the male lead is your husband. Check the kitchen. Grab the fastest one. I'll keep an eye on your husband. He's not getting away. Hailey snatched my phone. Auntie, it's me, Hailey. They're not even trying to hide this now. No idea what they talked about, but Hailey nodded and smiled warmly. My dad smacked the back of my head. You little brat, just wait. I glared. Old man, wait for mom to get here. I'm not saving you. Dinner time. I was happily munching on my favorite Australian lobster. 10 were served, one on my plate. The other 9 stacked in front of Hailey like a small mountain. Mom held Hailey, wiping her tears again and again. You poor child, you've suffered for so many years. You should have come to us sooner. Hailey comforted her. My mom passed away last month. She insisted I come. It's good you're here. From now on, this is your home. It's okay, Auntie. I just wanted to visit you and Uncle. I'll still live at my place. That's fine, but if you ever need anything, you must tell us. Dad looked at Hailey with fatherly affection, then gave me a hard slap. Or ask this punk. He can help you. You're the same age. You'll have things in common. I was mid-bite when the slap hit. My lobster flew. Dad, she's the daughter of an old friend. A brother who once saved my life. From now on, she's your sister. If anyone bullies her, you fight them to the end. Got it. Dad used to be in the underworld, though he's clean now. His old friend must have been someone important too. I wondered who. Walking Hailey home. You've known all along, haven't you? When you said your family owned Night Color, I figured it out. Then why didn't you say anything? Would it have changed anything? I sighed. All right then. From now on, I'll protect you. Uncle said I should protect you. I slung my arm around her shoulders. Little potato, what exactly can you protect me from? She frowned, but didn't push me away. Uncle told me to tutor you and make sure you study. Shit. Exams. First placement test. Hailey ranked first in the school. I ranked dead last. First monthly exam, Hailey first. Me last. Second monthly exam, Hailey first. Me second last. Because I ripped my front row classmate's answer sheet. He cried snot bubbles and all. Damn, this girl is smart. Never would have guessed. I started paying attention to her and finally discovered her secret. She always got a perfect score on multiple choice questions. And her method, rolling dice. I was dumbfounded. Where the hell did she buy those blessed dice? I wanted one too. Dear sister, where'd you get those dice? They weren't bought. Sell them to me, name your price. Not for sale. Let me see them. No. Of stingy. Whatever, I don't even care. As I said that, I suddenly hugged her and reached into her pocket. She screamed. The entire classroom gasped. This time she was truly angry. She pushed me away and ran toward the door. As she passed the podium, a girl in the front row stood up and accidentally spilled a bottle of red ink all over Hailey's chest. Wow, can you be any clumsier, rushing to be reborn? I saw it clearly. She did it on purpose. The red ink soaked through Hailey's shirt, making her chest even more eye-catching. Nowhere to change. She had to endure stares all day. That girl, Serena, my junior high classmate. I grabbed her by the collar and dragged her to the rooftop. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Obviously. Duh. I laughed, pinned her against the wall. Why? You don't know? I don't. I like you, dumbass. Oh, you're mine. No, I'm not. Hailey is my girlfriend. Do this again and I'll strip you and tie you to the flagpole. I don't joke. Back in the classroom, a few boys surrounded Hailey spewing filthy words. I patted one of them on the shoulder. He turned around, bam, one punch, no idea how many teeth I knocked out. The others reacted, some scared, some ready to fight. A few rounds later, I was the only one still standing. A wooden stick struck my head. Blood dripped down my face onto my chest. I must have looked terrifying. The worst off among them had their fingers bent at unnatural angles, clutching their hands in agony, wailing nonstop. I turned around. I'm saying this one more time, Hailey is my girlfriend. If anyone bullies her again, they'll die. The whole classroom fell silent. Rocky, Alice, our teacher, looked at the mess on the floor and roared toward the ceiling. I ignored him, took off my school jacket, and draped it over Hailey, covering the massive red ink stain. Your head, it's bleeding. It's nothing. You just sit tight. I'll handle this. Everyone who was hurt went to the hospital except me. I pointed at my own head. Why don't I need to go to the hospital? Alice sighed. Sit down. Wait, damn it, you really went through with it. You told me last time you'd beat someone up, and then you actually did. And so brutally. What am I supposed to do now? They deserved it. Fine, they deserved it. Their parents will be here soon. You figure it out. Since you're so tough, why don't you beat up their parents too? 30 minutes later, the injured student's parents had arrived. It's not a big deal, kids fight all the time. Yeah, my brat always stirs up trouble. Getting beaten up might teach him a lesson. My son's already at the hospital, and I asked him about it. He was definitely in the wrong. They're classmates, it's fine. My kid's left hand got hurt, but he can still write. The doctor said no permanent damage. Don't worry about it. Alice rubbed his temples. Rocky's dad, the other parents have spoken. What about you? My son was wrong to hit them. I'll cover all medical expenses and pay each family an extra $20,000 for emotional distress. My fault for not raising him better. I'm sorry, truly sorry. So we're all settled then. Settled. The parents all nodded in agreement as if nothing had happened. Alice clapped his hands. All right, Rocky's dad, can you ask those 20 men in black suits to leave now? My office is small, not enough seats for everyone. Oh, right. Get out, all of you. I told you it wasn't a big deal, but you just had to follow me. My dad turned back to the teacher and apologized. Sorry, I have a lot of friends. We ran into them on the way and they insisted on coming. No other reason. I understand. But what about the 5 vans at the front entrance? I'll have them drive off, and the 5 at the back in trance. They'll leave too. And the knife at my neck. Haha, my dad laughed heartily. See, I just like you, so I was holding on to you. And this knife, it's just a toy I bought for fun. No other meaning. It's yours now. Alice took the knife, set it on his desk. All right, I'll be heading out then. This little thing is actually kind of fun. Play around with it when you're free. The crowd dispersed. The office instantly felt cold, like the temperature had dropped a few degrees. My dad pulled me aside. Take me to your classroom. I want to see Hailey. In the classroom, it was self-study period. My dad entered through the back door, gently patted Hailey's shoulder, and ruffled her hair affectionately. Then his face turned cold. He grabbed my chair and hurled it at the blackboard. A loud crash startled everyone. His expression shifted from sinister to downright terrifying. With that scar on his forehead, he looked truly menacing. The room was so quiet we could hear our own heartbeats. No one dared make a sound. This was only the second time I'd seen my dad like this. The first was when I was 4 or 5, before he owned the nightclub, when he fought off a dozen men on the street. But in just 10 seconds, he switched back to his usual grinning, easygoing self. Oops, my bad slipped out of my hand. What kind of crappy blackboard is this? I'll replace it tomorrow. One that doesn't glare under the lights. And no AC, I'll bring one in too. Consider it a gift from Hailey. You guys better study hard and make your parents proud. After that, no one dared bully Hailey again. Of course, no one dared talk to her either except me. I didn't even need to tell people she was my girlfriend anymore. Dad settled the problem once and for all. Dad, oh dad, you took care of Hailey's problem, but why didn't you think to take care of mine while you were at it? So you were the one who wanted to strip my sister and tie her to the flagpole. Serena stood in front of me, her hair dyed bright red, flanked by a group of men. I looked at her. Is this your real brother or just someone you call bro? You got some nerve, huh? She stormed up and shoved my head. Well, my sister's not good enough for you. I saw that so-called girlfriend of yours. Besides having a big chest, what else does she have? Is she good in bed? I clenched my fist. And you are? One of the lackeys stepped forward. This is Tony. Ever heard of Black Gang Boss Tony? Oh, different last name. Not her real brother. That means I can beat him to death without worrying. I threw a punch at his chin. His eyes rolled back immediately. Pulled out my lighter and hurled it at his temple. Blood spurted out as he collapsed, twitching uncontrollably. I was about to land the final blow when his lackey stopped me. 10 against 1. No way I'd win. These guys weren't just students, they were street thugs. I had no choice but to fight while looking for a way to escape. And then I ran straight into Hailey. Run. She fumbled for her phone, probably trying to call the cops. Just run. Serena noticed her and shouted her. That's Hailey. Strip her. I could have gotten away, but seeing Hailey surrounded, I turned back. Fuck your mothers. If someone doesn't die today, I swear I'm not leaving. I talked big, but the truth was I was outnumbered. All I could do was hold on to Hailey, shielding her with my body. Serena sneered. Seeing that I wouldn't let go no matter what, she cursed Hailey a few times and led her men away. You okay? I touched Hailey's face. Not bad. Besides a messy hairstyle, she was fine. Damn it, I could have escaped. Why were you just standing there? 2 wanted to help. Help my ass, dumbass. Next time, just run. I checked my pockets. My cigarette pack was crushed into a crumpled mess. I managed to pull out one decent stick and lit it up. Shit, where's my dice? Hailey looked like a frightened deer frantically patting her pockets. She emptied them all out, dumped her entire bag onto the ground. My dice, it was just in my pocket. You probably lost it during the fight. It's just a stupid die. I'll buy you another one. No, help me find it. Please help me. Her voice trembled, her whole body shaking. Tears streamed down her face worse than when she was humiliated before. Sighing, I endured my injuries and got up to help her search. We searched until 11 p.m., a full 5 hours, but still couldn't find it. How about we just let it go? That die is so small, who knows where it landed? This whole area is full of manholes. It might have fallen into the drainage. She didn't answer me. She just walked home dazed, leaving all her books scattered on the ground. The next day, Hailey didn't come to school. The third day, still no sign of her. I fiddled with the die in my hand, thinking to myself, it should be the same, right? Looks pretty similar to her old one. Then I knocked on her door. Here, I found it. I opened my palm, letting the die rest in the center. She snatched it up, pinching it between her thumb and forefinger, examining it closely. Her expression shifted from excitement to disappointment. Then she placed the die back in my hand and slammed the door shut. Hey, wait, how can you tell it's different? Is there a trick to it? Come on, was there some kind of mark on the original? Tell me. Open the door, let's talk for a minute, okay? No matter how much I shouted outside, she wouldn't open the door. Damn it, I wasn't going to give up. I went to the nightclub and called over the waiters, the staff, the hostesses, everyone. A whole bunch of good-looking men and women squatted down searching for the die. I sat on the side, smoking, replaying that night in my mind. From the moment I got beaten up to running to bumping into Hailey, it was only about 100 meters. Just one street, 2 manholes. We opened them up, sent people down. Nothing. The grass by the roadside was nearly yanked bald. Still nothing. Where else could it have gone? My dad drove up, seeing a whole crowd of employees crouched on the ground. What the hell are you all doing? Got possessed? We're looking for something, I replied without looking up. For what? Nobody's working now. Is the nightclub shut down? Even if you were looking for your long-lost dad, shouldn't there be a time and place for it? Hailey lost a die. She hasn't come to school in days, won't even talk to me when I visit. A damn die? Don't we have plenty at the club? Let her pick one and be done with it. It's not the same. I already tried tricking her with a fake, didn't work. Fine. My dad made a call. Soon another wave of people flooded in, all squatting down to search. Even random passersby joined in, thinking someone had lost a diamond ring or something. I stubbed out my cigarette. Dad, isn't the nightclub running anymore? How the hell am I supposed to run it now? Set it up in the middle of the street, make it an open-air concert. I slung an arm over my dad's shoulder. Dad, tell me the truth. What exactly is Hailey's relationship to our family? What relationship? Didn't I already tell you she's my big brother's kid? No other connections? No. Then why do you treat her better than me? Get lost. He kicked me 2 meters away, knocking one of my shoes off. And there it was. The die sat quietly wedged into the gap of my shoe sole. The gap was deep enough that it had been completely stuck inside, silent as I walked. At least it wasn't damaged, just a little dirty. I pried it out, examining it closely. What's so special about this die? Doesn't seem like anything fancy, just a bit heavier than usual. Dad, we found it. Found it, all right. Everyone clear out, get back to work. In an instant, the whole crowd dispersed. The bystanders on the street looked on in silence. What were they doing? Maybe it was a flash mob. A flash what? Knock, knock, knock. I rapped on her door. No response. Hailey, open up. I found the die. Still nothing, but I could hear movement inside. I held the die up to the peephole, rotating it occasionally. The door opened. Hailey took the die, eyes filled with doubt. Then all at once, she burst into tears of joy. Clutching the die tightly, she suddenly lunged into my arms. Where did you find it? Right there on the street. Then smack. She kissed me. I froze. She seemed to realize what she'd done, and her face instantly turned red. I cupped her face and kissed her back right on the lips. What kind of player are you, stealing a kiss from me? I gotta return the favor. Hailey returned to class. Our relationship grew closer. She smiled more, talked more, and would hold my hand on the way home. Though when others were around, she still acted cold. Her warmth belonged only to me. I yawned. What's the next class? Hailey blinked. Next class? There is no next class. School's over already. Damn, today's dismissal is early. I glanced at my watch. Not even 6 p.m. Tomorrow's the college entrance exam. Don't forget, the entrance exam. Right. Just like that, 3 years had passed. The results came in. Hailey scored 666 points. I scored 6. My dad said we were both pretty lucky. Mom praised Hailey endlessly, saying she was an exceptional kid. As for me, she said my 6 points were a miracle. Our family had money. My parents never expected me to study hard anyway. Their plan was to find a solid business, get it running, then hand it over to me. The whole family sent Hailey off to Kyoto University. We stayed for 3 days before she started her academic journey, while I went back home to continue my life as a rich second-generation heir. Not bad. Whenever we were bored, we'd video call and chat all night long. Hey bro, there's a guy in my class chasing after me. I stubbed out my cigarette. Oh, what's his background? Can he possibly be worthy of my intelligent, stunning, gentle, and virtuous little sister? Hailey giggled. Since when do you know so many fancy words? Shut up. What do you mean by that? Her face turned a little red. I don't like him, but he won't stop bothering me. Got it. The next day, I drove to Kyoto University with Hailey leading the way. Didn't bother sightseeing, just headed straight to Building 2. Her class was in the middle of a meeting. Everyone was there. I walked up to the podium and shoved the class president off. Clearing my throat, I said, Hailey is my girlfriend. Anyone who tries to pursue her, don't blame me for what happens next. The class burst into murmurs. I pointed straight at the guy who had been harassing her. Especially you. His face turned red and he looked like he wanted to argue. But under my glare, he only let out a cold snort and shut up. This scene felt familiar. Years ago, I had said something similar on our high school stage. Back then, Hailey had been embarrassed. But today she sat in the last row, tilting her head, beaming at me. Bro, you're so cool. Yeah, back then you weren't saying that. You even slapped me 5 times. Why bring up old stuff besides? Didn't you deserve it? Fair enough. My face is thick, slap all you want. For years of university, no guy dared to bother her. Hailey graduated smoothly. On her graduation day, I went to Kyoto. We held hands, wandering from afternoon till night. Finally, I said it. Hailey, why don't you marry me? I'll protect you for a lifetime. She neither agreed nor refused. Let me roll a die first. What's the story behind this dice? Why do you ask it for everything? Secret. And you still have secrets from me. Hailey clasped her hands together and murmured softly, if I can marry him, it'll be an even number. She shook the dice 3 times and let go. A 5. 1 time doesn't count. 3 times. 3, 1, 3. I felt a little awkward. Here, let me try. If Hailey isn't meant to marry me, let it be a 6. 6. What the hell is this dice even reliable? The moment that number showed up, Hailey's expression instantly darkened. I could see hope fade from her face, replaced by disappointment and confusion. Come on, my dear ancestor, you're not seriously leaving your happiness up to a dice, are you? She took a deep breath. You're right. How can I let a dice decide? Then she wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me. Dad, I want to marry Hailey. No, no. Both my parents spoke in unison. I clenched Hailey's hand tightly, my knuckles turning white. Why? Why the fuck do you need a why if I say no, it's no? Hailey burst into tears. I had never seen her cry so hard before, sobbing uncontrollably as she crouched on the floor. Hailey, you two really aren't a good match. Isn't it better to just stay as siblings? Mom held the trembling Hailey and led her into the bedroom. Dad, be honest with me. Hailey isn't your illegitimate daughter, is she? Bullshit. Then what's the reason? No reason. It's just not happening. We're not related by blood. I'm marrying her no matter what. Say that again. Rocky will marry Hailey in this lifetime. Slap. A loud smack. I didn't dodge. I just glared at my dad. Either you beat me to death today, or the moment I walk out of this door, I swear I'll marry her. I turned to leave. My dad grabbed my arm. I struggled, but couldn't shake him off. He shifted his weight and threw me over his shoulder, slamming me back into the room. Grinning viciously, he loosened the first 2 buttons on his shirt. Little bastard, did you forget what your old man used to do? Let's have some fun today. Go ahead, hit me back. I won't hold it against you. That terrifying expression, just like back in the gang fights. Just like when he smashed a chair against the blackboard with one hand. Of course, I could never hit my dad. I just wanted to break free, but I had 0 chance. His arms were like iron clamps. Wherever they held, I couldn't move. His punches landed precisely on my pressure points, making my body go numb and weak. But I was young. I could take a beating. Stop. Stop hitting him. A sharp scream, Hailey. Uncle, please stop. I promise you I won't marry him. Those words seemed to drain all the strength from her. She looked at me deeply, as if engraving my face into her memory. Then she forced a smile. It looked worse than crying. Covering her mouth, she ran off. My mom hurried after her. My dad was tired too. He lit a cigarette and handed one to me. I took it and inhaled deeply. He lit another. I'll tell you the same thing. Either you kill me or you're never marrying her. I want to try. Go ahead. First thing tomorrow, I'm cutting off all your credit cards, and I'll make sure no one lends you money. I called Hailey. She didn't pick up. I texted her. She didn't reply. She was a filial daughter. She probably didn't want to see me fight with my family like this. I searched for her for 3 years. I couldn't find her. I drifted through life aimless. My dad forbade my friends from lending me money, but he never said they couldn't eat with me. How long had it been since I last went home? I couldn't remember. Every day, I just drank, got wasted in a bar, found some place to sleep, then drank again the next day. My parents didn't stop me. They said they'd rather let me waste my life away. They could afford it anyway. Here, drink. A full glass of whiskey. I downed it in one gulp. The others just took a sip. They were scared of drinking with me. No sane person drinks like this every day. Rocky bro, take your time. My mom wants me home to make dumplings, so I gotta go first. I waved him off. Their excuses were getting more and more ridiculous. That guy could barely wipe his own ass, and he was gonna make dumplings. After a while, someone sat down in front of me. I looked up. I was stunned. I rubbed my eyes. Long time no see. Long time no see. Drink with me. Okay. She opened a new bottle, poured a full glass, and chugged it. That night, I didn't know how much we drank. As the alcohol clouded my mind, desire exploded. I pulled her into into a hotel, pinned her against the wall, and kissed her fiercely. Her moans were like whispers from the ocean, making my heartbeat race. Blood boiled. After countless rounds, we lay there panting. She nestled into my arm, tracing circles on my chest with her fingers, drowsy from alcohol and exhaustion. I murmured, "Hailey, I missed you so much." She chuckled lightly, still not over her. I jolted awake. In my arms was Serena. Right. The one drinking with me tonight was Serena, not Hailey. I didn't mistake her for Hailey. I just blurted out what was in my heart. "I heard all about what happened to you. Pretty tragic. Tonight doesn't mean anything, just think of it as a hookup. A way to let off some steam." I said nothing. I just held her tighter. But in my mind, she was still her. After that night, Serena and I got close. She had changed a lot. Gone was the arrogant high school girl. Now she was mature, sensual, and uninhibited. We slept together many times. People thought we were a couple. I never corrected them. She never clarified. It was just lust. "You and Serena seem pretty close these days." I nodded, tossing aside half-eaten lobster. Ever since reconnecting with Serena, I moved back home. I even brought her over a few times. The whole mansion echoed with her moans, making no effort to hide it from my dad. I wasn't sure why I did it. To show off, or just to vent. "Why don't you two get married?" I talked to her father. He has no objections. "Sure, I don't mind." Dad was caught off guard. Probably didn't expect me to agree so easily. "You're not getting any younger. Some things should be left in the past. Your mom and I found a company for you. Once you're married, it's yours." "Sounds good. I don't mind." Dad fell silent. He ate a few bites of food. On the wedding day, both Serena and I wore smiles that couldn't have been more fake. The happiest ones were my dad and Serena's dad. Their bond was now even stronger, and their businesses could benefit from more collaborations in the future. That night, I spent the night at a hotel. When I woke up, there were two unfamiliar women lying beside me, completely unclothed. The bed was a mess. When I got home, Serena wasn't there either. She came back early in the morning, her hair a tangled mess with deep purple hickeys on her neck and the inside of her thighs. Morning, she yawned. "I'm exhausted. I need to sleep. I heated up breakfast for you. I'll eat it when I wake up." The sound of her high heels clicking against the tiles was a bit noisy. Maybe because we'd done it too many times, neither of us had any interest in each other anymore. We weren't even just cohabiting, we were merely two people bound by a political marriage. I didn't care about her, and she didn't care about me. We were like sacrifices in a deal. In that moment, something clicked in my head like a thin film in my brain had been punctured. This kind of debauched life was meaningless. I needed to find something to do. I pulled open a drawer and looked at the company my dad had given me. "Who are you?" "I'm your dad." "Hey, why are you cursing at me?" I laughed, patting the security guard's shoulder. "Just joking. I'm your boss." "Boss, this company has a boss." "Of course it does. What kind of company doesn't have a boss?" "Take me to the office." I hadn't been here since my dad gave me the company. No wonder the security guard didn't recognize me. I heard most of the employees had already left and only a vice president was holding things together, a woman. When I entered the office, the VP dropped a thick stack of documents onto my desk. "These are all the records and financial statements from the past 6 months. Take a look." I scratched my head hard. It felt like a huge mistake to get involved with this company. Also, now that we finally have a CEO, I finally have somewhere to submit my resignation. "Hey, don't. No, I really am quitting. I don't even want this month's salary. I just need you to sign here, and I'm out." There was no way I could let her go. Just as I was starting to take an interest in the company, if she left, what was I even supposed to do? "Big sis, my bad. All right, here, name your price. How much salary do you want?" She waved her hand. "It's not about the salary. The company has nothing. I can't do my job here. What do we need? Money, people, and projects. That's easy. I'll transfer money into the company account this afternoon. We'll start recruiting. I'll handle that myself. And I'll ask my friends for projects. They have all kinds of resources." Really? She only relaxed after seeing the balance in the company account later that afternoon. I had to admit this woman was incredibly capable. After just one afternoon of meetings and coordination, she had organized everything neatly. "So basically, CEO, you're just a useless lump who does nothing but provide money." I laughed. "You could put it that way. Then focus on recruitment. Most of our employees have left. We need to hire for every position. I'll handle finding projects, so call up your friends in advance." "Got it. It's getting late today. We'll start tomorrow." I stretched. It had been a long time since I felt this fulfilled. This feeling was nice. It almost made me feel like I was actually trying to achieve something. The next day, I posted the job listings online offering the best salaries in the industry. No way we wouldn't get applicants. And then came the endless interviews. "Hello, please introduce yourself." "The candidate, blah, blah, blah. Seems like a good fit. You're hired." "The candidate." Mary, the VP, sent me a WeChat message. "Boss, can you be a bit more serious?" "What's wrong?" "I have nothing against disabled individuals, but don't you think assigning a person with a hand disability as our meeting minutes recorder is a bit rash? Can he even type fast enough? Then let's make him a phone operator. I remember he has a good speaking voice. Can you take this seriously?" Fine. I rubbed my face. She was right. I had to be more responsible. This was a workplace. I couldn't make things harder for my employees. I flipped to the next resume. Hailey. When I saw Hailey again, my forehead was covered in sweat. After all, when you finally see someone you've been thinking about for so long it feels absurd, like spending a dime on candy and winning a motorcycle instead. She was stunned when she saw me too, her mouth slightly open. I could tell she was trying really hard to hold back her tears, but she failed. Long time no see. Long time no see. So many things to say, yet all we could manage were these 4 words. I glanced at her resume. She had gotten a master's degree in these years. Fresh out of school and looking for a job. You've been doing well. You got married. She lowered her head, then nodded. That's good. You know the person too, our high school classmate Serena. That's good. And you got a boyfriend. She smiled a beautiful, beautiful smile. No way. After that scene you caused at my class event back then, I became famous at school. No one has dared to ask me out since. I laughed too. Thinking about the past, it was all so sweet. Anyway, let's start the interview. She steered the conversation back on track. What's there to interview for? Just come work here. We need people, and I could use your help. She frowned, thinking for a moment. Let me roll a die first. You still haven't changed that habit, huh? She clasped her hands together, murmuring, if I should take this job, it'll be an even number. Before I could speak, she added, 1 roll isn't enough. 3 times. She smiled a bitter smile, smiling at how that die had refused to let us be together back then. And now it had brought 2 people who had long since changed back into each other's lives. I've always been curious, what's the secret behind that die? Why do you roll it for everything? She was silent for a long time before answering. After my mom died, I kept a small bit of her ashes and made them into a die. That way I feel like she's still here and I can ask her for answers when I need them. Oh, so that's why? No wonder she had gone crazy looking for it when she lost it back then. But wait, I said, back in high school you used it for multiple choice questions too. Did it really always pick the right answer? She burst out laughing. Didn't you ever notice the numbers on the die didn't match the answer choices at all? I was just rolling it for fun. Multiple choice questions were too easy, I could tell the right answer at a glance. Damn, you have no idea. I thought it was some kind of magic. I almost stole it to use it myself. After the laughter, silence settled in, along with a sense of unfamiliarity from so many years apart. Dinner tonight. Yeah, let's have dinner. When she agreed, a weight lifted off my chest. You can drink now? Isn't it the same as drinking water? She downed 2 shots of Baijiu in one go. Damn, don't make me carry you later. Come on, bro, it's not like you haven't carried me before. That bro almost brought tears to my eyes. Have you kept in touch with my parents these years? A few times. That's good. As the liquor flowed, so did our words. I told her everything that had happened to me over the years, including that drunken night with Serena, the reckless life after marriage, and how I only recently decided to play around with a company just so I wouldn't suffocate. Her life hadn't been any easier. During her master's program, her advisor exploited her, stole her research, refused to write her a recommendation letter, and insisted she pursue a PhD. Otherwise, she'd be on her own. At some point, we were both crying. She held my hand, our lips drew closer. When they touched, 2 frozen hearts ignited in an instant. Years of longing, pain, regret, and resentment burst forth, growing into a towering tree. Bro, her eyes shimmered with desire, her flushed cheeks glowing under the influence of alcohol. That hazy gaze lingered on my neck. I knew what she wanted. To hell with it. I'm getting a divorce. Screw the company. I'm marrying you. I carried her into a taxi, and our lips barely parted the entire ride. The driver scratched his head. Where to you to? No one answered. Damn young people these days. All right, nearest hotel it is. Hotel. Just as we were about to cross the final line, my phone rang. I was pissed. Without even looking, I hung up, put it on silent, and turned back to her. Then her phone rang. Wait, bro, hold on, it's Andy. She picked up. I sighed, lighting a cigarette. My mom really had a knack for calling at the worst times. When the call ended, she started getting dressed. What's wrong? We need to go. Your dad's in trouble. My dad had been in a car accident and was in emergency surgery. Where is he? Mom saw me and Hailey arrive together. She wanted to ask something, but knew now wasn't the time. In the ER. Come with me. Family. Who here is family? I am. I rushed forward, grabbing the nurse's arm. How is he? The blood bank is running low. A family member needs to donate. I will. What's your blood type? Oh, won't work. The patient needs AB. I'll do it, Mom said, already running toward the donation center. Hailey mumbled something under her breath. What did you say? Bro, I just asked how much high school biology do you still remember? Man, I don't remember crap. Just some hand clasping technique, electric stimulation, or whatever. Dad is AB. Mom is AB. And you're O. Hailey stared into my eyes. I stared back, but didn't get it. All I saw in her gaze was a sorrow as deep as the ocean. What are you trying to say? Spell it out. 2 AB parents can't have an O-type child. Boom. My world collapsed. What's your blood type? Oh, Dad's surgery was a success, but he hadn't woken up yet. Hailey and I sat outside the ward with Mom. Mom, the reason you and Dad refused to let me marry Hailey, it's not because she's Dad's illegitimate daughter, is it? It's because I'm not Dad's son. Mom froze. She still hadn't fully recovered from the accident. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Who told you that nonsense? Hailey and I are siblings, but we're both Hailey's father's children, aren't we? Mom lowered her head, hands clutching her temples. She sobbed as she told us everything. Back then, Dad William was still a nobody. With nothing but guts and loyalty, he earned won the admiration of Hailey's father, Bame. Bame was powerful at the time. He took William under his wing, giving him food, drink, and opportunities. They were inseparable like brothers. They had even saved each other's lives. But fate was cruel. Bame offended the wrong people. With no way out, he entrusted his newborn son me to William. Without hesitation, William took me in and swore to raise me as his own. At the time, Hailey's mother was also pregnant. William wanted to take her in as well, but she refused and chose to stay with Bame. William thought they had died together, and that the unborn child wouldn't have survived either. He grieved for a long time. Years later, William managed to go legitimate and built his current business empire. He never expected that Hailey's mother had survived and had raised Hailey. She only contacted William once to let him know they were alive. But after she passed away, she told Hailey to seek out William for protection. That night at the nightclub, when I saw Dad with Hailey, that was their first real meeting. At first, Dad and Mom were happy. They thought fate had reunited long-lost siblings. But no one expected that what grew between us wasn't family but love. When I told Dad I wanted to marry Hailey, he was dumbstruck. The only way he could hide his fear was with anger. That's why they refused us. This is karma. Your father did too many bad things in his youth. This is his retribution. I stood up like a hollowed-out corpse. One step at a time, I walked toward the end of the hallway. I turned back. Hailey was the same. Head tilted down, feet dragging, walking in the opposite direction. At this moment, both Hailey and I were dead. It was late at night. The hospital's hallway lights were motion-activated. Wherever I walked, the light above me flickered on. Hailey was the same. Only the space above her head was illuminated, while everything in front and behind her was swallowed by darkness thick as blood. I knew then we were impossible. Like this suffocating darkness, we were separated, torn apart, shattered. Not a single sliver of hope remained. The water in the bathtub had long gone cold. I couldn't feel it. My body was even colder than the water itself. "Rocky, are you done? I want to take a bath." Serena's voice came from outside the door, impatient, who knew where she was planning to spend the night this time. Almost. Just drying my hair. I looked at the hairdryer mounted on the wall. "Turn it on. Drop it into the water. Just let it fall and let it all end." A voice echoed in my head. I covered my ears, but it kept whispering in my mind. "Do it. Just do it. And everything will be over. The only thing left will be happiness." I turned on the hairdryer. "What the hell is taking you so long? What are you even doing?" Serena burst in, and at the exact moment the hairdryer was about to hit the water, she yanked the plug out of the socket. At that moment, I wanted to cry. And I did. I clung to Serena and sobbed uncontrollably. It's okay now." She patted my back, soothing me. That night, she didn't go out. She held me the entire night. "The wind, so this is what the wind feels like. Look, you can fly. Just jump and you'll be free. Go wherever you want. See whoever you want. Isn't that nice?" The voice was talking to me again, whispering nonstop. I stood on the rooftop of my company, staring down at the bustling streets below. The world's so-called beauty and prosperity, how revolting. The world inside my mind that was the real paradise. Fly. Just fly, and everything will be fine. Someone wrapped their arms around me from behind. I turned around. It was Serena. I shoved her away. She was a liar. She wouldn't let me seek my own happiness. I reached into my pocket. There was a box cutter inside. The sharp click-click as the blade extended. It was the most beautiful melody in the world. The melody sliced through the air, composing a symphony in deep crimson. Drip, drip, a masterpiece of sound. "Rocky, calm down. Think about your parents. Come here first, let's wrap up your arm, okay?" A shadow lunged at me from the side, knocking me down. A swift kick sent the blade flying from my hand. It was Mary. She frowned, looking at me like I was some pitiful monster. "Hospital." The doctor was explaining something to my parents. I stared at the wall behind him. A stark white wall. Inside it, a shadow struggled to break free, but no matter how hard it tried, it couldn't get out. In his current condition, medication alone won't work. It's been 3 years, and the depression hasn't improved, it's gotten worse. You should consider hospitalization. Mom cried. Why was she crying? I could be happy if only they'd let me. Let's admit him. Dad reached for a cigarette, then remembered he was in a hospital and put it back in the pack. I followed the nurse's footsteps, stepping into that enormous cage. I knew I had to go in. I also knew once I entered, I wouldn't be coming out. Inside the cage, there was a light blinding like the sun. I silently walked toward it. "We've got a new friend here, Rocky." The nurse patted my back, trying to help me relax. "This is Hailey. You two can talk often." The demon in my heart disappeared. The voice was gone. Everything returned. I could hear the birds sing, smell the flowers bloom, and see Hailey's pale yet beautiful face. Her unfocused gaze slowly sharpened. Her eyes shifted slightly, narrowing into a crescent. She smiled. A beautiful smile. A smile with tears slipping down her cheeks. A warm body lunged into my arms, hugging me tightly. I held her just as tightly, never wanting to let go. "Bro, so you're here too. Have you let go?" "I have. And you?" "I have too. It's time to let go." The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.